Welcome to Av Continues, episode 195. This is a weekly podcast posted up every Monday as an MP3 on adofcontinues.com or a little bit before that on youtube.com/adofcontinues, where we talk about video games and related topics. I am your host, Stafa, and with me this week you got Kevin.
Hello.
What's up, Kevin?
Not much. How about you?
Doing all right. Man, that was a podcast we had last week. We were talking about homies.
Yeah.
And everything.
That
guessing
game
it was
really
like
fun.
Yeah, it was like we were here the whole time.
Well, I was here the whole time, but you weren't. Did you?
So yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
What's that?
No, I was. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyways, we're back on schedule. We had the backup podcast last week, and now, as you can see, those of you watching the video, I am in a different environment that you have not seen before, and you can probably see a box in the corner of the screen. Ignore the box.
What's in the box?
I did a cross-country trip that was pretty insane. Me driving all the way from Indiana to California. Here we go. Enjoy California.
Enjoy a refreshing bottle of California.
Yeah, so I'm here. Did my move, looking for a job in the game industry, and this is a good place to do it. And so we're gonna continue doing the podcast for now, and that's pretty much it. As of right now, we're gonna try to do this podcast remotely, and try to figure things out. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, there might be some issues with me cutting out maybe halfway through or maybe 10 minutes from now or something, who knows, because I'm using an Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspot because that's how the internet is in this neighborhood. And it's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's so bad that they will pop up this little pop-up in the center of my screen every hour or so that says you're using an Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspot, just to remind me who is the company that's providing me this terrible internet. They're like, yeah, we're proud.
Man. Yeah, that's pretty annoying.
Yes. I mean, the pop-up itself isn't that annoying because if I don't even click on it, it'll disappear after a second or so. But still, it's like they're rubbing it into my face. How bad this internet is.
Yeah.
So anyways, as far as this specific episode goes, we're going to be talking about Gamescom a little bit. I mean, I haven't been paying too much attention to it because I've been really busy with this move.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about that and news, pretty much.
Sounds good to me.
So, yeah. All right, so let's get going. And first, we're going to have a little disclaimer that all opinions expressed on this show are of our own and not of our employers, whether past, present, or future. So, yeah, holla at your boy. All right, let's talk about some Gamescom stuff. I have a few things that I noticed. Were there more things that you noticed, Kevin? I mean, you see my notes.
Well, I'm going to be honest and say that I also didn't really spend too much time paying attention to Gamescom. There were just a couple of things that I think you got them in the notes anyway, the ones that I wanted to talk about. So it might be
All right.
a little brief as far as like what we talk about.
Great. That way we can try to beat the ticking time bomb of this internet.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I want to talk about Mirror's Edge Catalyst a little bit. So they revealed some gameplay video, which was very awkward. That when they showed the gameplay, they also had like these cutscenes, and the gameplay was like a very smooth 60 frames a second, while the cutscenes were like clearly not 60 frames a second; they're like 30 frames or so.
Yeah, I'm
Did
really
you notice
hoping.
that?
Yeah, I'm hoping that maybe that was just like a technical problem with the demo and not
Yeah,
how it's actually going to
it
be.
did say it was alpha.
Because it's kind of weird. Normally, the cinematics are smoother than the gameplay. At least that's how it was, several years ago. But now, if the gameplay is going to be smoother than the cinematics, then I mean, the industry seems to be going away from cinematics during gameplay anyway. Like for the most part, if there are cinematics, it's usually in-engine cinematics. So maybe that won't have too much of an effect. And once they fix once they get past alpha stage, so hopefully that's something that will be fixed with time.
Yeah, it did look fun, but my issue that I felt while watching the video that they put out was that unlike the Mirror's Edge, the first Mirror's Edge game, I mean, unless this was just for the demo, the things that you grab onto and jump onto were not highlighted in red. Like that's how it was in the first Mirror's Edge game. Like specific things were highlighted in red or some other color, so that you could grab this or whatever. And like she was grabbing all sorts of things that looked like they blended in with the environment. And that I don't know if it was just for that demo and if it's going to be different in the end product, or if that's how the game's going to actually be. And if that's how the game's actually going to be, that is a concern to me, because highlighting things in specific color like red helped guide the player in the first game.
Yeah, and actually that's something that I kind of wanted to mention is I'm wondering, they didn't show any of that, at least I didn't notice any during the gameplay, like the footage that they showed, but I'm also wondering how much more open they're leaving the game, because like Mirror's Edge, the first one was very, very linear. You had to follow, maybe there was a couple of slight different paths you could take from one building to another, but you always ended up going to the same door or to the same level on the building. So I'm wondering if now that they've not they're not highlighting all of the main places that you could jump to or grab onto, I'm wondering if this is going to be a little bit more open, so that if you think you can grab onto it, you can grab onto anything and you don't just fall to your death. And as long as you get from point A to point B, it doesn't matter how you get there, you just have to get there.
Yeah. Which is still a concern to me, though, because this is a platformer game, and platformers rely very heavily on the level design.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much all the game is about, like being able to smoothly jump from this platform to the other one and get through the obstacles. And if it's more of an open world, then I don't know. I kind of doubt it's going to be open world. So, but
it also might be that it's because it's an alpha, and if you remember from the first game, the highlighting wasn't like a texture that was hard coded into the model. If you once you pass a certain point, those red highlights would actually kind of like fade away, and you could see the actual color of the model underneath. So I'm wondering if they just haven't developed that highlighting aspect yet, or maybe it'll be very dynamic, so that it will only have when you're coming up to it and not when you're just like around.
Yeah. All right, you got anything else on Mirror's Edge before we move on?
It looked nice. I thought it looked much visually, even though the colors kind of stayed for the same for the most part, it definitely looks crisper and cleaner. And there's definitely a huge visual improvement, even though it's following pretty much the exact same art style.
Yeah, it does look very crisp and clean. I like that. It didn't look as bright though, because
And I'm
the
okay
first
with
game
that.
had very bright colors.
Yeah, and I did like the vibrant colors, but sometimes they could be too vibrant, too bright. So I think I'm okay with them toning down the colors a little bit, as long as they're still. I mean, as long as it's still a colorful game, I don't mind if they, wash those colors out a little bit.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll move on.
Sure.
All right, I noticed you posted about Halo Wars 2, so I figured I'd throw that into the
Yep.
notes. So I didn't play the first Halo Wars. Did you?
Nope, because I do not think that RTSs work with a controller. It's just not. It's an RTS is not a controller game. It's a keyboard and mouse game.
I didn't play the first Halo Wars, though I did play the Command and Conquer games that were on 360. And from what I remember seeing about Halo Wars, it looked like it played similarly using like the weapon select wheel type thing. Well, not weapon select, but it's the wheel menu thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I never played the first one, the first Halo Wars, but from what I heard people say, as far as reviews go, it was good for a console RTS game.
Okay. Yeah, and that may be true because I know that I remember back when I had my PS1, I think I played like a Command and Conquer demo or something on there also. It might have been a different console, I don't remember. But I mean, it may not have nearly as much micromanagement as a game like StarCraft does, but I still think that a controller does not work for. It's not ideal. I mean, it obviously works, but it's not ideal for an RTS. And I was really hoping that they would bring Halo Wars to PC because I do like the Halo franchise. It's one of. I mean, I really like the lore and the story and everything about it, but and it's really weird because it's made by Ensemble Studios, which makes my favorite RTS of all time, which is Age of Empires 2. And they have also made the Age of Mythology games, and they've made like a Star Wars RTS game. So, I mean, they've got good experience with RTS games. And like I said, they made my favorite one. But just the fact that it was not. So, I mean, I had high hopes for Halo Wars when it was first announced. And then when they said it was, Xbox exclusive, then I was really disappointed. But this new one should be pretty good because it's being made by the developers who make the Total War games. So, I mean, their games are also pretty good as far as like strategy goes. So I'm looking forward to it and seeing what they do with that. It would be interesting if they actually made it like a Total War style game, but
they did say it is cross-play between Windows 10 and Xbox One, right? I mean, did they say cross-play? And if it is cross-play, then I expect. Well, I don't know. I think it did say cross-play, and if it is, then I expect there to not be any advantage between playing with gamepad or
I'm really
especially
hoping
mouse
that
and keyboard.
If that is true, then that kind of worries me a little bit because I'm hoping that they don't simplify the UI so much that it, makes the PC version quote unquote comparable to the Xbox. Because I still like if there's any one genre that does not belong on console, it's definitely RTS.
Okay, I'm looking at the article again. It doesn't say anything about cross-play. It does say it's playable on both, though.
Yeah, I was reading through that too. I think it might have just been like just the fact that it's coming out on both. But yeah, I don't see them putting crossplay on there because that would just be. I mean, it'd be like allowing Call of Duty players on PC and Xbox to play with each other. A lot of people will start complaining about unfair advantage or whatever.
Anything else on Halo Wars?
No, I'm pretty excited to hear more about it. And one thing that actually I did want to mention is on the PC version for Halo Wars 2, it looks like they're saying it's going to be Windows 10 exclusive. So you can't even install this on Windows 8 or 7 or anything else, which, I mean, I understand they want to try to. Microsoft is really pushing hard for Windows 10, and that's fair. I mean, it's just released, it's brand new. But I
Well, that's
think,
kind of like with Project Spark being Windows 8 exclusive.
yeah, and that also kind of was a little concerning because I'm gonna go into my PC elitist mode for a brief moment, but
You're always in PC elitist mode.
I knew you would say that. But one of the reasons that I think PC gaming is superior is because of its flexibility. Like there's really nothing that's holding you back in terms of like backwards compatibility or because it's all running on the same hardware for the last decade or more, like even more than a decade. So there's really nothing that's holding PC back from backwards compatibility. And so just the fact that they're making it Windows 10 exclusive, they're basically treating the PC as a console. They're treating Windows 10 as a console platform, and
Hey, they gotta push the platform.
And
They
honestly,
gotta push it, and also DirectX 12, baby.
yeah, and maybe that's the reason. Because I know DirectX 12 is also Windows 10 exclusive, and if they're utilizing DirectX 12 100% for Halo Wars 2, then that is a somewhat reasonable excuse. But I still think that they shouldn't be limiting themselves to just Windows 10 because, and if Microsoft's history is anything to go by, they're not going to get 100% of their users onto Windows 10 in the next 2-3 years even. I mean, Windows 10 has seen a large spike. It was definitely large, much faster growing than Windows 8 was. But there are still people who are using Windows 7, and unfortunately, there are still people who are also using Windows XP. And maybe, granted, the people who are still on Windows XP aren't going to be the the hardcore gamers who would play this game anyway. But there are a bunch of gamers and computer enthusiasts who are still on Windows 7 and don't see a need to upgrade to Windows 10. And so they're just limiting their user base by saying DirectX 12 and Halo Wars 2 are Windows 10 exclusive.
Hey, that's an option that the person decides. If they if they have Windows 7, Windows 10 is free for them. So
That's true.
if they don't want to get Windows 10 to play Halo Wars 2, then that's their choice. I don't see it as really limiting the audience if they have Windows 7.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Because Windows 10 is a free upgrade. So yeah, that's a fair point. We can move on to the next one.
All right. I looked at the Star Wars Battlefront video that they put out. That the Fighter Squadron mode looked like just a huge map and dogfighting.
Yep, it's Battlefront Field. That's what I've been saying since day one when they showed the first Battlefront trailer, gameplay. I was like, yep, this is exactly Battlefront Field. It's Battlefield with
It's
Star
kind
Wars.
of disappointing that this mode doesn't have any space, like outer space.
Yeah.
Like even at the very least, a what's it called, Death Star map.
Yeah, like honestly,
where
they
you're
could
like
have taken
fighting
that,
outside the Death Star.
They could have taken that scene, from I guess the sixth Halo. They seriously should have done something in space. That would have, and I'm assuming that might be something in their DLC. They might have Battlefront Premium like they do for Battlefield, and one of the expansions will be new space maps for the dogfighting stuff. But it'll be interesting.
All right. I don't really have any other opinions on it. It looks all right. It looks like some fun dogfights to be had, and
yeah, I'm still a
Yeah.
little on the fence with Battlefront because I want to like it, but at the same time, I feel like it's just more of Battlefield. So
so if I get to like upgrade to a Darth Vader in that mode, do I also get like the other guys to like do the battle formation with me and
that
they
would be
skirt
cool
out
if they
behind
did
me?
that. That would be cool if there was like, well, then they would have to include AI, and no one wants that. I guess if you had two friends who were willing to do that, you could easily have two people follow you around in that battle formation.
If a friend is not willing to do that, then they're not even. I don't even consider them a friend anymore.
Yeah, they're not your homies anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, Kratos is the worst homie of all. So, anyways, move on.
Sure.
All right. They put out some gameplay footage of Hellblade, which is a game that I've mentioned on the show before that I'm hyped about. It looks really cool. It's made by what's it called? Ninja. The guys that made the latest DMC game. DMC, Devil May Cry, Ninja Theory. That's who they are.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So they've been working on this game, Hellblade. It's billed as a AAA indie title. And,
So like Witcher.
Yeah, I suppose. And it looks pretty cool. They put out the gameplay footage, and the vibe that I got from this, it felt like it was similar to what, like take Remedy, and they did Max Payne, which was some fast action, just shooting everything in the face, and then they moved from that to Alan Wake, which was a bit slower, a bit darker, in tone and, visually darker.
Yeah.
And Hellblade to me it seems like that, because Ninja Theory has done faster action. Like you look at all their previous games, it's Heavenly Sword, the one game, the Journey to the West, and DMC Devil May Cry. They're all like fast action games, and Hellblade, like all of the combat that they showed in the gameplay video was one-on-one.
Yeah.
It was just really focused on fighting one guy who's probably more powerful than you. Like each person that you fight is, a significant threat.
Yeah.
And, it was also a lot darker as far as like both visuals and tone.
Kind of reminds me of what was that game? It's that iOS game Infinity Blade, where you're kind of exploring through like an area, but you fight huge bosses. Pretty much every enemy you encounter is just a boss that's huge and difficult. So it kind of reminds me of that, but not on the rails.
What Ali pointed out, he didn't really like how the gameplay looked. He said Rise, Son of Rome looks better than, as far as gameplay wise, it looked better than this.
Huh.
The gameplay, it doesn't look amazing, but it does look, I do like how it looks. It looks decent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it looks like Rise, Son of Rome, though. I don't know.
Yeah, because that's
the game. The game I was thinking of earlier was Enslaved: Odyssey to the West. That's but still, like, I think it looks really cool. I like it, especially the whole like the girl going crazy part. Like, I think that's a interesting concept for them to explore.
Yeah.
So
That's
did you
cool.
get a chance to watch the video,
I'm actually watching it right
the
now.
gameplay video? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like it seems that like it's her mother that she's hearing inside her head or something like that.
Yeah, something. It looks pretty cool though. I mean, it's definitely a game I'll keep an eye on, and um, but I don't know. I mean, I can't say I'm nearly as excited as you are about it, but it does look interesting.
I mean, I've really liked what Ninja Theory has done. Like I
Yeah.
liked Enslaved Odyssey to the West. That game has one of the craziest endings ever. That doesn't mean it's the best ending ever, not by a long shot, but it's definitely one of the craziest ones.
Yeah.
Um, DMC Devil May Cry was an awesome game. I loved it. The only people who I hear complain about the game are Devil May Cry elitists.
Hmm.
There's a such thing.
Yeah.
And like Heavenly Sword, they it was cool except for the whole motion controls thing, which killed it for me. That's why I didn't beat that game. Like the
Oh
motion
yeah.
controls was really dumb. But if it weren't for those motion controls, I probably would have beat the game.
Yeah.
So I'm optimistic.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
The last game that I got on my notes, I mean, unless you have anything else you want to talk about, but I have Homefront, the new Homefront game.
Hmm.
Um, first of all, surprise to me, I thought that game was dead. You know,
Yeah, I thought so
so
too. I mean, I remember they were talking about doing a Homefront 2, and everyone was like, "Ah, it's gonna be so bad. Don't do a sequel," because the first game was not that great. It was boring. But
yeah, I mean, like I think it was 2 years ago or so that they showed gameplay footage of it and it looked really good.
yeah,
And then it was I don't know, I think it was Crytek UK that was working on it, and then like they had to um, they had to fire just about everybody, and THQ went under, and just everything went wrong, and
yeah,
so as far as I knew, I thought the game was dead. I thought it was canceled, but it looks like it's still going, and it looks pretty cool.
yep, yeah. I do like the open world aspect of it. That should be really cool. I've
Like
always been a fan of open world games.
basically, this looks like to me it looks like Far Cry, except rather than in like a jungle setting or some kind of exotic setting. This is more like a you know futuristic cyberpunk city, well, cyberpunk-esque with like just like in the slums in a pressed area.
I didn't really get much
So
of a cyberpunk feel from it. It feels more like
well, they have like those
yeah, that's
scanner
true.
things flying
Yeah,
around.
I mean, it feels almost. I mean, I wouldn't say cyberpunk, but definitely slightly, in the near future, in like this war torn town or city. It's
Yeah,
almost slightly post apocalyptic, but not like nuclear apocalypse, just bad war.
yeah. I mean, I liked the video that I saw, and they mentioned that you have like the um, the people helping you out through these missions, the um, trying to push this revolution, and it seems pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
like I like Far Cry games, and I was disappointed with the last Far Cry 4 because of how unoptimized it was. Maybe I'll revisit it because I heard that there's a big patch that fixed it, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, this looks pretty cool.
I yeah, I kind of on your topic. I kind of want to try Far Cry 4, but after how much I disliked Far Cry 3, I really don't want to try Far Cry 4 because I'm afraid it's going to suffer the same issues. But we'll see. I might pick it up when it's on sale.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else that you saw from Gamescom? Because that's all that I had on my notes.
I don't think I saw anything else. No, I don't think so.
You mean you didn't walk the show floor and check anything out?
I was
Playing
there,
the
but I
games?
just, I decided to stay in my hotel and just eat food all day long.
Man, what kind of representative of Ada Continues are you? Get out of my face.
You didn't give me any business cards. How was I supposed to represent it without official business cards? Well, I think stuff I got disconnected. It's his Xfinity hotspot that he's using. We'll see if he connects back here in a minute. If not, we might have to scrap this video. In which case, me talking is pointless. But I'm going to anyway. Yeah, Homefront looks pretty cool. And I was mentioning I didn't like Far Cry 3 mostly because, I mean, the game was fun, but the thing I didn't like about it was mostly technical aspects. Like, I did not like especially the camera animations during the cinematics and how everyone just got right up in your face and they were kind of like talking to you as if they were like less than a foot away, and the excessive camera movements. And I normally don't get motion sickness at all whatsoever. Like, I've played Mirror's Edge just fine. I've even played plenty of games on the Oculus in first person, like without any motion sickness at all. But just something about the way the camera was animated in Far Cry 3 was really annoying. And then they also had like just terrible UI designs, not very good use of screen space in the menus or the inventory. And the game got a little repetitive also. I mean, I know that's kind of what, the Far Cry games were, at least the first two, and they kind of just expanded upon that. But I thought they could have done more. And I also disliked the characters. I thought every single character was incredibly annoying. The only character that was worth it was Voss. I thought he did a good job. His voice acting was really good, and his character development was really good. But yeah, everything else about the game, like everything else about every other character, I hated all the characters, especially Jason. Every time he started talking, I wanted to just mute the game and stop playing. But I pushed through it because Staffa kind of made me. He kept bugging me about not playing the game and not finishing it. But yeah, I did not like Far Cry 3 at all. I had fun maybe one or two moments in the game, but it was not worth the effort that I put into it. And because of that, and then when I heard that Far Cry 4 was essentially just more of the same, but better graphics, a new place, I wasn't that excited for it. I did like Far Cry 2, but I mean, it was again mostly the same thing, a little repetitive at times. But I did enjoy it, despite how it was dated. A lot of the game, especially like the guns, were floaty, and it wasn't refined 100%, but it was still not. I enjoyed it a little bit more than Far Cry 4. I mean 3. I haven't played 4. So I don't know if all this talking was kind of useless because I don't think we're getting this video back. Oh,
okay.
There he is.
All right. Hello, Internet, Xfinity, Wi-Fi hotspot. All right, you ready to do the countdown?
Yes.
10,
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4,
3,
2,
1.
and all right. That's so we're synced on the audio.
Yep. And if you keep the video, I kept talking, so I don't know if you plan on keeping the video.
Awesome. Yeah, the videos. There's nothing we could do about that. So, anyways,
okay. So just talking for no reason.
I suppose that was a good spot for the internet to go out since we're switching segments.
Yep.
I mean, it's better between segments and in the middle of one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on and talk about something that is more reliable. You want to know what that is?
Please do tell us.
It is something called DreamHost because they're a web service that offers unlimited storage, unlimited bandwidth, user-friendly interface. They're also optimized to use content managers such as WordPress and many more features. All that just for $8.95 US a month. And if you use the promo code out of continues, that is one word, no spaces, just out of continues, will waive away the setup fee and get you free domain registration. That way you can go to bed worry-free that that your website's going to stay up, and it is much more reliable than this Xfinity hotspot that just kicked me off.
Yeah. And I can attest to their stability because I've been using them for I don't know how many years now, and I have never once had a problem with my websites. Never gone down.
Yeah, I've been using them for about 4 years now.
Nice.
So, anyways, let's move on to the news. Let me screen share. Screen 2. All right, let's talk about some news. We got this is a little old news, but since we didn't cover news last week, we talked about homies instead. Ouya got oh, hold on, I gotta set this so that present to everyone so it doesn't go back to your face. All right, say something real quick.
Hey, what's up?
All right, cool. All right, so anyways, Ouya got bought out by Razer because basically China was like, okay, consoles are now video game consoles are legal in China, and Razer's like, boop, we bought Ouya.
Yeah.
But they didn't buy all of Ouya. It was like they cherry picked what they wanted. Like they purchased they purchased the name, purchased the software, they purchased the library of games. They didn't purchase the hardware, and they don't have the debt that Ouya has.
They purchased everything but the debt and the part that people didn't like, which was the hardware itself.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, this will be interesting because Razer is primarily a peripherals company, manufacturing company, so they will most likely take this Ouya name and make some semi-new. I mean, it'll most likely still be a console.
Yeah, a micro console.
Yeah, and they'll
uses Android.
Yeah, and they'll do something with it to match their whatever they do. So they'll design the hardware for it, and then they'll distribute it. And I don't know how they're going to do the licensing though, because I mean, if they're keeping the software side of it, then I guess most of it will stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
It's been nice knowing you. No, it wasn't. Worst Kickstarter investment I've ever made. Worst ever. Worst $100-something I've ever spent.
Oh man.
And I've spent a lot of bad $100-something.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's move on. Remember
you
Red
can't sell
Ash? Oh yeah.
Someone's gonna buy it.
Bet I can't sell it. Nope. So, do you remember the Red Ash Kickstarter?
I
I don't know if you were on the podcast that I talked about it. It's basically the spiritual successor to Mega Man Legends.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay. So on the podcast, I mentioned that I did not think it was going to reach its goal because it was not getting the funding in a fast enough rate. And I feel like fans of Mega Man Legends don't want another game in the same style. They want a continuation to Mega Man Legends, because Mega Man Legends is like it's like an RPG kind of. It's like a third-person shooter in a way, RPG, and it had a story. And at the end of number 2, I don't know anything about the game because I never played it, but then number 2, like it leaves us somewhat of a cliffhanger with Mega Man still on the moon, and he's stuck on the moon or something like that. I don't know what that means because I haven't played the game. But fans want, more of that story. They want the story to continue.
Yep.
Now, Red Ash, on the other hand, is like, hey, we're going to make a game in the same style, and it's like a spin-off of the Mighty Number 9 universe or something like that. I don't know if it's the same universe or whatever, but either way, this is not Mega Man. And it did not reach its goal, but yet it's still getting funded because of they made a deal with a Chinese publisher, Fuse Entertainment. I guess they want to get this game on the Razer's new Ouya console.
Sure.
I don't know.
Guess.
Maybe. That is definitely a possibility because the fact that this is a Chinese company and they deal with like Android games.
Looks like he's got an Xbox 360 controller for testing, so I might wonder if that's going to go on like the Xbox Arcade or.
Well, that's Mighty Number 9.
Oh, okay. That's right. I see the title now of that video.
Yeah. Plus, you can see the gameplay right there.
I never played Mighty Number 9, so I'm not familiar with how it looks.
It's Mega Man.
I know, but I didn't play Mega Man either.
And another thing I mentioned on the video is it seems that Inafune, I mean, like, there are a lot of fans of his work, but like he seems to not be getting the support of his fans for Red Ash because of the fact that he's in so many projects right now. He's working on Mighty Number 9, which is almost done, but it's it just got delayed till next year.
I have a feeling,
and he's also
are people still excited for Mighty Number 9? Because I remember there was a lot of hype around that when the Kickstarter started. And
there was a lot of hype when it started, but I feel like people who are actually the people who are playing the beta.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But like, he's working on that, and he's also working on that Microsoft exclusive game, Recore.
Oh yeah.
Why did I say Microsoft exclusive? The Microsoft published game, Recore. Yeah. He's working on that, and now he wants Red Ash, which is the third game. Like, I understand he's like the director of those games, but still, you expect the person who's working on it to like put his full attention.
Tim Schafer all over again. It's the Chinese Tim Schafer.
Chinese? That's racist. He is Japanese.
Japanese. That's what I meant.
Get your Asians right. Come on now.
The only Asian I know is my type of Asian.
the brown.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on before we say any more offensive things.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about developers getting offended. The Five Nights at Freddy's creator, he's getting criticized about, like, I guess it doesn't say specifically in this article what he's getting criticized about, but I'm assuming he's getting criticized for making too many games, because Five Nights at Freddy's 4 just came out, and that is within a 1 year cycle from the first game.
Yep. Yeah.
So he has 4 games that have come out within 1 year, and
there's like
he
a movie. There's like T-shirts already. He's got quite a bit of stuff around this franchise.
The movie just got a director.
Yeah.
So, in his response, he says, "Hey, look, I've worked really hard on these products and worked really hard on making something that people enjoy. They might not be perfect, but at least they're as good as he can make them." And he mentions that in the past he worked at Dollar General and like he had like 3 managers above him that were not even finished with high school, and before that he was working in the frozen's food department of Target. And it's like, the reason why I wanted to cover this article is because I understand that.
Yeah.
I was there. I was in the frozen foods department of Walmart.
Yeah.
And like I know what it's like to like have dreams and aspirations to do something, especially in the game development industry, but like be living a life in which you're working a dead-end job.
Yeah.
So like he mentions that right now he spends a lot of his nights playing Mega Man 3 with his kids, and just tries to be a good person, and just because he's successful doesn't mean he's trying to exploit his success. He's just trying to work hard on these games and be a good parent.
Mm-hmm.
I have
the criticism, and I've only seen the first 2 games. I haven't really seen how the third and the fourth game are, but I think part of the criticism might just be the fact that he's releasing a lot of these games, very quickly, but it's because they're practically the same thing, just a little bit slightly different, maybe with different types of.
I mean, granted, those games are like what, $5 each?
Yeah, and they're pretty small. I mean, even the concept of the games are pretty simple, so there's really not much work he has to do in order to make a sequel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I have not played those games mainly because I'm not interested in playing those games. They're not my type of games.
Yeah.
I just do not care. So I cannot criticize the games themselves. But as a man looking from the outside in, I do see, hey, there are 4 games that have been released within a year cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It does seem a bit much, but I hear people enjoy them.
Yeah.
And if they enjoy them, and he's only selling them for $5 each, it's not like he's putting them out for $60 or whatever, or even 20. He's not even selling for 20. It's just $5 each.
Yeah.
So whatever. I mean, like he's working hard to live his dream as being a game developer, and I understand that. I'm trying to do the same thing too. Well, not the same thing as what he's doing, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out of the lot. I've been working hard to get out of the life of working Walmart to eventually get into the life of working at a game development studio.
Yeah.
So I understand that. Move on.
Yep.
Zombie U, or now called Zombie. We talked a little bit about this earlier, about how Zombie, it kind of leaked that this was going to be released for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and now it is confirmed.
Yeah.
It is going to be for digital distribution only, so it will not be on shelves.
Yeah.
And they did not mention what changes they're doing to the gameplay to make this playable on those platforms.
Yeah, and I mean,
But-
the obvious things would be changing motion controls to just analog controls for the controller.
Mhm.
And maybe just on mouse for the PC, but we'll see. I played Zombie U when I went to PAX Prime like 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years. It was
Yeah.
a while ago. It was before the game was released, and I didn't think it was that great. But I mean, I only played like a demo, so it probably wasn't the best part of the game. So I don't know. It's a game that I acknowledge, but it's not on my radar.
Well, I think the fact that this game is going to be on digital distribution only speaks a lot about how this is Ubisoft trying to make up for development cost.
Yeah.
That was clearly, the first thing that came to mind when the rumors of this came out, and seeing that it's only on this digital distribution. They're not even going to print this onto discs. It's just going to be, digital distribution only. They're trying to get this game out the cheapest way possible and just make money off of it the cheapest way possible.
Yeah. Do we know how many
What-
were sold on Wii U?
It is.
I can't imagine it being a very large number.
I don't think this article mentions, but I do know it
I'll
was
search
one of
it.
the best-selling Wii U games during launch, and it still did not sell well enough for them.
Yeah, saying it's the best launching Wii U game or best selling Wii U game isn't saying much anyway.
So, with that said, I don't know if this is even going to be a good port. It might be a sloppy port thrown together.
Yeah, it's Ubisoft.
Who knows if it has, like frame rate issues or whatever, but
Because it's Ubisoft.
all right, let's move on.
Yep. And I'm sure you'll have to climb like towers to reveal sections of the map.
Hey, speaking of climbing stuff, well, we'll get to that in a second, but it's been confirmed by Sony that in the future, the PlayStation Plus games for PS4 will be selected through some type of voting process.
Yay.
I think this is pretty cool. I'm assuming that like the poll will be on the PS4 itself. Like it'll show up on the front page of PS4 and say which game do you want to choose for
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus. And I'm also assuming that this will only the poll will only be available for PlayStation Plus owners. Like it would make no sense for non-PlayStation Plus owners to be able to vote.
Right.
So they didn't go into detail as to like how this is going to be done or when it's going to start. They just said it is confirmed, and like the image that has been shown that leaked out, it shows Zombie Vikings, Armello, and Grow Home,
Oh.
which is the Ubisoft climbing game. And the interesting thing about Grow Home being included in this selection is that it is currently only on PC.
Yep.
Grow Home is not on PS4 right now.
So that might just be
So-
like its launch for PlayStation 4 if it gets voted for.
Yeah. And if that is the game that gets voted to be free, I think that'd be an awesome way to get Grow Home. A
Yep.
brand new game just released. It's a really fun game too. I talked about it earlier. I got some gameplay video on the YouTube channel. I really like that game. And hey, if you're a PlayStation Plus member and you guys vote for this, then it's like, hey, brand new game that you get for free on launch, and it's a good game too.
Yeah, looks pretty cool.
I think this is a really cool system. That way they're going to be releasing games that the people want.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Also,
all right, let's move on.
Yeah, and then also
Yeah.
Zombie U sold 0.87 million, so just under 1 million units.
Not enough.
Yeah, and that's worldwide.
Yeah. All right. Related to PlayStation Plus, we got the Xbox Games for Gold. And one cool thing that they just announced is that all future Xbox 360 games with Gold titles will be backwards compatible on Xbox One.
And this is amazing because now you don't even have to have an Xbox 360 and you can still play those games for Gold. Because there's some times when, like I have a PlayStation 4 and I have PlayStation Plus, and there are sometimes games that are out on PS3 that for PlayStation Plus that I wish I could play. I have a PS3, but it's my brother has it now, so I mean it's not like I have free access to it to play anytime. So yeah, I do commend Microsoft for doing that.
Plus, it's extra value for the people who own an Xbox One. That way they're not just getting just the Xbox One games during the games with Gold. That they're getting like extra games out of their subscription. So that's definitely a really good move.
Yeah,
and it's pro-consumer.
Absolutely.
Move on?
Sure.
Speaking of Microsoft titles, Battletoads is coming to Killer Instinct, which is probably the best way to bring Battletoads, because Battletoads is one of those games that's only popular because of a stupid meme.
Yeah.
So this is probably the best way that brings back Battletoads, because that game is stupid. No one can get past the level where you're riding on the hover bikes, because the whole game's impossible. And so they're like, okay, Season 3, Killer Instinct, and the first character we're revealing is Zitz from Battletoads. And he even turns into like a wrecking ball during the gameplay trailer.
Nice.
Got the big boot and everything, so
yeah,
it's legit. What do you think?
I think it's interesting. I mean, I don't play Killer Instinct, but I mean, if they want to add goofy characters, that's pretty cool.
Look how hideous he looks, man. I mean, you can't really see in this screenshot here, but he looks hideous. Like, they try to make him look realistic, which is bizarre. It's like the Ninja Turtles from the new Ninja Turtles movie. Just huge and hideous looking.
Yep.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
I got great news, and I got bad news. Great news is Dead or Alive Extreme 3 is happening.
Yay.
But the bad news is it's not coming over here.
Yep.
It's only going to be available in Japan and Asia.
It's probably because they had some content which probably was not allowed over in the Western civilizations.
My guess is because it's not going to sell well over here. Oh, excuse me. The I think the first game sold well enough only because there were people that were like, I'm going to see what this game is like.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, I bought it, and the volleyball portion is actually kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the game is pretty stupid. It's like you're talking with the other girls and try to be friends, and you have to buy them gifts and stuff.
So is it like a friend simulator?
I think so. And it's like if you're better friends with somebody, then they will play better on your team. Or it was
Wow.
I don't remember it all, but it was really bizarre. But like if you're just playing the regular volleyball mode, it was actually a pretty fun game. And then Dead Alive Extreme 2 happened, and they added more than volleyball. Like, they added this tug of war thing that you see on the screen.
Yeah.
And some other weird stuff, like some butt-bumping contest. I don't know. I never played it, but I just saw, like, the first trailer of it, and I was like, no. They've gone too far. And so because I'm pretty sure more people had the exact same mindset as me, try out the first game and then say no to the second game, they're probably like, yeah, the US audience is not going to buy this game, so we're not going to release it outside of Japan and Asia.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of Japanese games that have never made it to America, and I know a lot of people have been upset about that, but I guess this probably just won't be one that people are upset about. Or maybe there are people who are upset about it. I don't know. Maybe.
Lots of people. All right, let's move on. So, we got confirmation that Destiny will have 100% more. No. That's because Bungie has dropped all of Peter Dinklage's audio from the game, and they're replacing it with Nolan North. And their reasoning behind it is that there was not enough audio to guide the player. There were not enough audio cues to like tell the player what to do, and so they wanted to add these extra lines. And for them to do so, they decided to hire Nolan North to record these extra lines, but then they had to have him record all of Peter Dinklage's lines too. And they didn't say why they had to switch actors. So my assumption is Nolan North was just cheaper.
I guess. Or better? Cheaper, better? I don't know. Which one? I don't know.
I would imagine Peter Dinklage is probably really expensive.
I would imagine so too. And when I played Destiny, I played it on launch day at the Microsoft Store because I was there for some Extra Life promotion stuff. So I was just there, and I got a chance to play Destiny once everyone left. And I didn't think his voice acting was that bad. I know a lot of people complained about it, but I didn't think it was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand, that people just didn't think it was good, but I didn't have an issue with it. I thought it was pretty decent, but that's just me.
He's supposed to sound like a robot.
Yeah, and they did modulate his voice to sound a little bit more distorted. Like, I don't know. I guess I heard people saying that they distorted his voice intentionally because they didn't like it, and so they had to do something so that it would mask the poor recording. But I don't see why people think, I don't know, Peter Dinklage does a really good job in the movies that he's in, and he's a very good actor, so I don't see why his recording.
I really like the CG that they use on Peter Dinklage. Like, it makes it very believable that he's a short person. I don't know why they do that for every movie he's in, though. It's kind of an awkward choice.
Yeah. And he probably was just too insecure about his height and wanted to be. He was too tall for everyone, so they just decided to overcompensate and make him too short now.
Oh no, that's they. I don't get how these movies have such a CG budget to do that to him and everything.
That's probably why he's expensive.
I'll do it to his voice too. Anyways, let's move on. More Bungie and Destiny news. They put up that they're hiring PC compatibility tester. So, well, at least Bungie put up that job listing. Don't think it says for Destiny, but it is pretty much people are assuming that this is for Destiny, that this is going to be for a PC version of Destiny. I think at this point it's too late. Destiny has too much of a negative, like, it just has such a negative. I'm having a brain fart here.
Yeah, like reputation.
Yeah, that's the word. I was like, R word. Has such a negative reputation at this point. I don't think any audience that wanted it, from the PC audience, has probably moved on at this point.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people just have complained about the game itself, like it's really repetitive and it's really not that interesting. But there's also quite a few people who are very into the game, and there are very dedicated groups of people. I mean, it's not nearly as large of a like a cult as some other games are, like World of Warcraft or something. But I mean, there are dedicated players to the game, and a lot of the systems that were in place for Destiny seemed like it would be, like it was almost designed for PC initially. Mainly things like the cursor. There's actually a cursor in the game, because like normally when you're going through menus, you use your D-pad or you use the analog stick, and it just highlights the different options, and you just go through those options individually. But in Destiny, there's literally a cursor that you move around the screen, which it's
very awkward for a console.
Yeah, and it seems like it was designed for PC initially, and then maybe something happened, and then they, were told or made the decision to switch over to console, and just didn't bother changing how the menus worked, and they didn't bother removing the cursor. So I don't know. I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah, I just feel like it's too late at this point. If they announced this earlier, I think it might have been worth it. But at this point, I think they just move on. Or maybe it might be for Destiny 2.
Maybe. And honestly, if it does come out on PC, I might, pick it up at some point, because there's no subscription fee for it.
During a Steam sale.
Probably. I mean, there's no subscription fee, so it's, pay once and play, and you just buy the expansions, which I'm okay with. And so I'll probably pick it up, because it may not be the best game, but it might be something fun to play with friends.
Yeah, you can buy the expansion by purchasing a Red Bull.
Gives you wings.
All right, let's move on.
Yep.
We're gonna talk about some movie stuff. So, Hitman, Agent 47, the movie. Did you get a chance to look at this trailer?
I did not. I'll watch that right now.
So I watched this trailer, and I have the same reaction as like 90% of the other people who watch this trailer, and it is that this is Hitman if the main character is being played by a 10-year-old kid who's playing on easy mode and probably some cheats as well. There is no way this hitman in the movie would pass the levels with like the silent assassin ranking.
I
Like he
also
is just
don't think he's the best resemblance of Hitman.
he's white and he's bald. What else do you
I,
want?
I guess that's what you could do. I guess I don't know. He just doesn't seem. They could have picked.
You want Vin
someone.
Diesel?
Maybe.
You know, at one point Vin Diesel was supposed to play him.
That would have been
Amazing.
Yeah, that would have been so much better.
He's not sneaking around. Like only in the beginning of the trailer, he like takes somebody's outfit. Which at first I was like, yeah, this is Hitman. And then he like starts blowing stuff up, and he like crashes a helicopter into a building and cuts people up with like the blades of the helicopter, and like just doing all sorts of big explosive things that would not be acceptable in Hitman. The game.
I'm watching this trailer right now, and it's way too action heavy.
I mean, this is more like the Bourne Identity,
Yeah,
or the Bourne series than it is, Hitman. I don't know. Maybe they figured like being stealthy is too boring. But like, it's just such a departure from the actual game that like, who are you trying to like make this movie for?
Obviously,
are you trying to make this movie for the fans of the game, or are you trying to get people to try out the game from watching this movie, and then they'll play the game, they'll be like, this was nothing like the movie?
Yeah, it seems like a lot of movies tend to go the action-heavy route, so that might just be it. I don't know. It's going to be another one of those failed attempts at a movie adaptation of a video game, I think.
Mm-hmm. Move on.
Yep.
We got Uncharted, the movie. It now has a release date announced, which is June 30th, 2017. And it is crazy that they have a release date, even though that like it doesn't say that they have a director or a cast yet or anything.
Yeah, I think it's
just
really
says that they have.
That's really soon. Well, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it says that they've already gone through a number of directors, and a lot of them have dropped out. So all of them have dropped out so far. So I mean,
or passed.
Yeah, and maybe that was a typo, and they meant June 30th, 2019. I don't know, 18.
Yeah, and it says it looks like Mark Wahlberg is still a possibility. They mentioned Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Amy Adams, and Scarlett Johansson. I think Joe Pesci would be an amazing Nathan Drake.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be the best.
Just imagine him hanging off a building saying, no, 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 no. Apparently Chris Pratt passed on the role. I think he would have been pretty good.
Oh, yeah, he would have been great.
Yeah. Oh, well. Like, the main thing I get out of this is it's just really weird that they have, like, an exact release date, but yet, like, we don't know anything else about it. We don't know who's playing who. We don't know who's directing it. It's just they have a release date, which is
I just think
crazy.
It's kind of weird that Seth Rogen was on the... I mean, it's funny that Seth Rogen, like, passed writing it. I mean, that's probably a good thing, because I don't want him to write a movie like that.
All right. Let's move on.
Yep.
So Steven Spielberg is now there's a release date for the movie Ready Player One.
Nice.
And that is December 15th, 2017. Have you read the book Ready
I
Player
have
One?
not yet, but it is on my wish list to read. I have the
I've
book. I
heard
just haven't
mixed
read it
things
yet.
about it.
Really, I've only heard good things
I've
about
heard
it.
either people like it or people say it is too well, it's too similar to what's that one movie? The one with the kid who plays the video game and then gets chosen by the aliens to fight the other aliens for him. Last Starfighter or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I just made up all of that.
That's if you made that up, then we should, you should copyright that movie idea and start writing it now.
But yeah, December 15th. At least we have a director. We have Steven Spielberg. You
Yep.
know, so that makes sense. Here, this is funny. Like, this is coming out after the Uncharted movie, but the Uncharted movie doesn't even have a director yet.
Yeah, I think that I think that release date is probably a fake rumor because it's hard to imagine that it's a year, less than a year away, and they haven't even started recording yet. They haven't announced a director. They haven't announced an actor.
Less than a year? No, it's 2 years away.
Oh yeah, never mind. That's what I meant.
We're in 2015.
I meant to say less. Yeah, never mind. I thought I was thinking 2016 for some reason.
Yeah. So, there's no casting, as it says right here. There's no casting details yet, but we got Steven Spielberg working on it, and we got Zach Penn writing it, who writes X-Men. I don't know if this just says X-Men. It doesn't say X-Men movies or what. It just says X-Men.
Yep.
So, anyways, move on.
Yep.
Last movie trailer here. Not video game, but comic book related. Deadpool.
Yay, Deadpool.
Did you watch the trailer?
Yep.
What'd you think?
I'm excited.
I am pleasantly surprised by this trailer.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. And the odd thing is, when you like step back and look at this is probably the first time like a comic book franchise has been rebooted, but they used the exact same actor. Because Ryan Reynolds played Deadpool in that Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
And like they totally they destroyed his character. Like he was like he had like all these mutants' powers and no mouth and X's on him. I think it was weird. It made no sense.
Yeah.
Like they totally destroyed his character. And now they are, with this trailer, it looks like they're trying to make this as close to the comics as possible. And they even have like Colossus in the trailer, and Colossus looks more like comic Colossus than ever before.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited.
So
I like Deadpool, and I'm so happy that they're actually making this movie. They're not holding back on anything for Deadpool.
You notice that that Ryan Reynolds had the line where he took a jab at the Green Lantern movie he was in.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, we're gonna make you a superhero. He was like, if you're gonna give me a suit, don't make it green. Or animated.
Yeah.
Which was exactly what they did to him in the Green Lantern. Gave him a green animated suit. They digitally imposed a mask on his face.
Yeah.
Which made no sense. Speaking of digitally imposing, I did like the way how they animated his mask.
Yeah, I was noticing that because like if on the close-ups, you can tell that it is all CG, but it's done really well.
Yeah, like from what I heard, like he's actually wearing a mask, but they have like trackers on it so that they can digitally animate it.
Yeah, especially like that
and
scene in the trailer when he shoots the 3 guys and then like inhales the smoke from the gun.
Yeah,
you can really tell that
he kind of closes his eyes.
Yeah, like that was really good because when you're wearing a mask, you can't really show expression, but they did a good job with that.
Yeah, it makes it very Deadpool.
Yep.
I mean, like, Spider-Man in the comics and cartoons does the same thing.
Yeah.
But, like, they never tried doing that in the movies or, animating his face.
Yep.
So I think that's pretty cool that they actually tried doing that. This is potentially the most promising Marvel movie by Fox.
Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, the Fantastic Four movie just came out, and it's getting very average reviews at best.
Oh, really? I completely forgot about that. I do want to watch that.
Maybe you don't.
Yeah.
From the reviews.
Yeah, we'll see.
When I saw the trailer for that actually showed The Thing, I was very upset as to how he looks.
Oh,
because
really?
The Thing is naked.
Yeah.
And he has no thing. See what I did there? I'm a genius.
Oh my goodness.
But like, I mean, The Thing, as far as I know, he's never been represented as being naked.
Yeah, he's always had something.
Underwear or pants.
Yeah.
Or a leotard or something like, singlet.
Like Hulk always has his torn pants.
Yeah. And like them not giving him pants is I don't like it. I don't like seeing how he's missing his male genitalia. It's disturbing to me. I don't like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, from what it sounds like, there's more problems with the movie than just that.
Yeah. Well, I haven't really been paying attention to. I actually completely forgot that the movie was releasing already. I thought there was still some time until it released, so I'm a little behind on that. But nice wallpaper.
Why, thank you.
I approve.
So yeah, let me get the show notes out. I mean, that's pretty much it as far as news goes. We have no listener feedback this week. If you want to write into the show, you can write in at podcast@outofcontinues.com and send us your questions and comments or any other type of feedback. Last night I had a dream that somebody sent us listener feedback.
Oh.
And it was like broken English and it made no sense. And they drew like the WWE logo on it as well.
Oh, wow.
A few times. And I was like, well, this doesn't make any sense, but I'm going to read it anyways because a listener sent it in.
Nice.
Yep. That's how much I care about you guys. I have dreams about listener feedback. So anyways, shout outs and plugs real quick. We got the Twitch stream going at twitch.tv/sayitstafa. I haven't been doing anything recently because of the move, and now I'm job hunting and all that. So maybe I'll start doing it soon if I find time. But next week we'll definitely not have time because I will be at Casual Connect, trying to network and get a job.
You'll be at Casual Connect, trying to connect with the casuals.
Yes. No. With the professionals. I'll be connecting with the professionals, not the casuals. So, anyways, Nathan Becker, also known as Ectogemia, you can search him by going to soundcloud.com/ectogemia or facebook.com/ectogemia. That's ECTOGEMIA. He did the music that is in the beginning of the MP3 version of this podcast, not the YouTube video version. Also, this week, the MP3 version will definitely be better because of the fact that it won't have that disconnect in the middle of the podcast. But if you're this far, you already listened to the whole podcast, so it doesn't matter. Do you have anything else you want to plug or anything?
Not really. Extra Life, I'll start plugging that a little bit more regularly now that we're getting closer to the day. But November 7th is this year's Extra Life game day. If you have not registered, it's free. You can go to extra-life.org, make an account, and you'll get your own donation page. You can send that out to your friends and family and ask them to donate to you. It's kind of like Relay for Life, but instead of walking, you're playing games. So you get to play games for a whole day and raise money for children's hospitals.
Nice. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Whoa, hello, guys.
It's Staffa with an afro. If you were not on video, you missed out.
Well, I had to do something to improve the video because that disconnect happened in the middle there. So anyways, that's we're looking fabulous. So that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully you join us again next week. I would like to give a thank you to my guest Kevin for joining me and having the patience to get through this craziness that's going on with my life.
Yep. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Oh man, I forgot to do all the other stuff. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, leave an iTunes review. You can contact us by email, podcast@AfricanTeens.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AfricanTeens. All those things can be found on the website, AfricanTeens.com. You can give me a tweet. I'm at Sayed Safa. You can give Kevin a tweet. He is at KS Trehan. And with that said, I am your host, Safa. See you guys next week, and thanks for joining. I got a potty mouth.
Nice.
All right, stop. And